Hi, everyone. My good friend and talented designer, Katya Agmont, is back to talk about all of the hottest trends and newest products that we saw together at this year's Las Vegas market, which was held in August. For those of you not in the design trade, Las Vegas Market is one of the biggest interior design trade shows of the year, and it's the perfect place to see what today's hottest trends are in the world of interior design, which translates to what will be seen in the months ahead from designers and retailers. But before we get into that, I just want to take a quick minute to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. Over 20,000 subscribers. Wow, and thank you. Okay, now let's get back to why you are here. To learn about the hottest trends and the newest products. Hey Katya, are you as excited as I am to revisit what we saw at market this year?
Hello, Erikka. I am always excited to talk about design trends, especially when I talk to you.
Thank you. And you know I feel exactly the same. I love talking design with you. Now, before we get into all the details, just remember everybody, trends are great fun to look at and they can certainly inspire new designs, but trends obviously come and go. So always design your home in the way that you love, whether that happens to be on trend or not. That said, let me just say that I really loved what I saw as a dominating trends at this year's market. In a few words, I would say black and white, classic, and quirky. I'll expand on all of that in a minute. But first, Katya, what were the dominant themes that you saw?
Well, in addition to what you said, I would add a few more things: natural, organic, and bold.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's start with the color trends, namely black and white. Now, you know how much I love black and white interiors, Katya. It's such a classic, sophisticated color scheme that is perpetually in style. And boy, were these colors dominating at this year's market. I couldn't get enough. We saw everything from gorgeous case good pieces and seating to lighting and accessories. Black and white, as well as black and cream, really were everywhere this year.
Yes, I agree. In addition, I would say that blue and green were probably the most common colors trending this year. Don't you think?
I do, yep.
And I also felt like gold was the dominant finish we saw, which of course looks really good with black and white.
Yes, it does. Okay, so the next trend I mentioned was what I referred to as classic. And what I mean by that is it really felt like we were seeing a lot more classic traditional pieces with simple silhouettes and more traditional patterns, which of course pair well with the dominant colors that we were seeing.
Yes, and I absolutely love the trending cane furniture. As you notice, right? Which is also quite traditional. It works so well with many different styles.
Yes, I know you are a fan of that cane furniture, and I have come to love it as well. Now, even though we saw a lot of traditional pieces or in traditionally inspired pieces, that's not to say that we didn't see plenty of modern and contemporary furniture, because we definitely did. My personal favorites were these bar stools and sofa. I would absolutely love to have this sofa in my own home. Obviously, an excellent piece for an open floor plan. Okay, so the last trend I mentioned I described as quirky. I personally love incorporating quirky pieces, particularly artwork where I can, and many of the manufacturers had some really fun, light-hearted pieces. Some that actually made me laugh out loud. Remember these end tables and book set?
Yes, and I really love the creative ways that manufacturers are using human sculptures. It is just so much fun.
Yes, and this waterfall natural wood desk with the human sculptures holding up the other end was one of the most memorable pieces for me. Okay, so let's talk about the continuation of the natural trend that we've really been seeing for a while now.
Yes, and it seems that every year this trend is getting bigger than the year before. Last year, we saw a lot of tables with natural stones, remember? But this year, it was all about the woods. So many gorgeous wood tables with organic shapes, not just coffee tables, but console tables, and even a lot of wood being used as wall decor.
Definitely. Speaking of stone, we saw some really lovely pieces. I particularly love this amethyst side table. Talk about a piece that sparks conversation.
I know, right? That was a very unique piece for sure.
And the focus on natural materials was really evident everywhere. We already talked about the case goods, but also with seating and lighting. It was hard to capture in a picture how cool these oversized pendants were. Another statement piece for sure. And I love that they offer them in two different colors. These would be incredible in the right project.
Absolutely stunning for sure. Frame textiles were back again and bigger than last year. While last year we saw a lot of tribal fabrics being framed, this year I noticed a much bigger selection of different styles being used.
Okay, so let's talk about the organic trend. Even when they weren't using wood, stone, or natural textiles, there were so many pieces that were nature inspired with organic shapes. For example, we saw a number of light fixtures that were inspired by trees and branches. We saw wall mirrors that were made to look like slices of tree trunks, leaf sculptures, and my favorite, this honeycombed inspired mirror.
Yes, and lots of botanical artwork and wall decor with organic shapes.
I also want to mention the increased eco friendly focus we are seeing at market. Fazy was just one of the manufacturers making some good strides in this area with their line of eco friendly rugs. I love this trend, and it's really only going to continue.
For sure, and I'm very happy about that.
Okay, now let's talk lighting, which is always a highlight for me. What did you think were the trends this year, apart from the nature inspired fixtures that I already spoke about?
Well, even though LED lighting has been big for a while, it was really big this year. So many bold pieces. I just love it.
I totally agree. Yes, and bold seemed to be the theme for sure. Apart from LED fixtures, many of the fixtures were statement pieces, and there was quite a bit of use of strong sculptural lines. There were some really great pieces for sure. These were two of my personal favorites. This lighted modern screen was fantastic.
Ah, and these fixtures were my favorites. Let's not forget some of the bold artworks we saw. I love how they incorporated LED lighting into this artwork. This could be such a great piece in a contemporary space or in a game room.
Yes, I love that idea. Well, there's no question it was great to be back at market with you this year, Katya. Exhausting as usual, but so much fun. Thankfully, part of our job as designers is to try out the seating from different companies so we can make informed recommendations to clients. But it's also a great way to take a break from all that walking, right?
Yes, that is so true and definitely needed.
Katya, thank you so much for helping me to share the exciting trends we saw at market this year. And I look forward to going to the next market again together.
It's my pleasure. And please, let's do this again next year.
Yes, definitely. That sounds like a plan. Whether you are a professional designer or a design aficionado, I hope you enjoyed seeing what is hot and new in the world of design. As always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe so you can be notified of future interior design videos. Happy decorating!